All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Millennial Trade. So let's get this out of the way first. I did start a Rumble account. So if you're on Rumble, if you follow other people on Rumble, you can find me on Rumble at Charles Marlowe. I made the account a long time ago, and I was trying to change my screen name to Millennial Trades, but I've tried a couple times to no avail. So for now, find me on Rumble at Charles Marlowe. I'll leave the link in the description of this video for sure. And I'm on BitChute as well. Most of you guys already know that. The Rumble is more of a new thing. So I'm going to kind of add that platform as well. So I just want to put that out there. If you are not using alternative social media networks, I highly recommend you do whatever one it is that, I mean, there's so many to choose from. So they've got Gab, Parler. I've been on Parler. I don't really use it though. They got all kinds of, there's one called an Invidious. It looks like a pretty decent video streaming platform. So I encourage everybody to get on alternative social media networks, get on the alt media, because it's just important. It's important to branch out, because you never know when some billionaire might buy the company and the social media platform that you're on and, you know, mess it all up. So, okay, so much going on. I got a lot on my mind because I have to go out tonight. So I am trying to get this video out for you guys. Here's the thing. Markets are completely flat, right? They close completely flat. The media was saying earlier this morning that the Dow officially entered bull market territory, but I think the Dow is down, or at least was down a little bit earlier today, like 300 points. I was overly bullish, I think, because I was feeling some of the FOMO from yesterday, right? Because we had a huge move in the NASDAQ. And it's exciting seeing these huge green moves. You think, oh, maybe there's going to be a little momentum here. But in this bear market, the next day, you know, it either stalls out or it drops completely. So I was overly bullish, and I decided to go in on Amazon calls pretty soon after the open, kind of trying to trade the news type of thing, because we had good inflation numbers, right? The PCE index, the core PCE, came in at 5, and the regular PCE index was down a little bit. It was down from 6.2 the last 2 months. It's been at 6.2. It came in at 6, right? And there's that number again. Illuminati! But no, seriously, the news wasn't too bad, and the comments from the Fed weren't too bad either yesterday. You had things just kind of calming down a little bit. Even China, there were reports that China was rethinking its COVID lockdown policy, its zero COVID policy. And I thought I might have had an article about that, but I don't. But those were the reports that I was getting this morning. So it was like, oh, the news is really good, right? Let's go long. So I went long on Amazon. Everything was okay, right? I was down a little bit. I was up a couple times too, and I didn't take it. I was up $200, maybe $300 at one point, and I did not take it. Whew. I had like $7 grand in the trading account. Anyways, long story short, we got the news about the manufacturing data at about 11 o'clock. The manufacturing sector is contracting, essentially, slowing down, right? A lot. And it's the first slowdown in the manufacturing sector since 2020. So that was kind of looming there at about 11 o'clock, and it just I watched it slow everything down. NASDAQ actually, I mean, it's flat, but it's lower today. It's like, you know, maybe down 0.2%. But a lot of these stocks like PayPal and Amazon and Square, all of them were looking okay, right, after that morning dip, and then they just all stalled out. And I was trading Amazon, so I had Amazon calls sized up way too much. And I made a video about the trade. I won't talk about it in this video. The last video I did is about the trade, but I lost a lot of money. You guys can go and watch that video to find out how much. But I lost a lot of money on that trade, and shouldn't have happened. But that news came out, and I just held past the lingering effects of that bad news. I should have known when that came out that I should have gotten rid of it, right? Because I probably could have been down maybe $50, maybe $100 when that news came out had I just gotten rid of the position. But I didn't. I held. So go and watch that video, all right, to get more details about the trade, the millennial trade. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, everything kind of slowed down, right? The dollar was coming down too, so it was a very confusing day. There was a lot of chop as well because it didn't go straight down, right? Just a whole lot of chop in these markets. And I guess looking back in hindsight, it's obvious everything had to chill out a little bit, cool down. Maybe we'll get some more momentum tomorrow, and maybe we won't. But I think I just need to be reminded that in these bear market, high interest rate environments, high inflationary environments, because even though the inflation numbers are cooling down, inflation is still up. The core inflation is up 5%, the number that came out today. The PCE, 5% from a year ago. So that's pretty serious, right? And you had the whole railroad situation. I think they're figuring that out, or they're trying to make the railroad workers accept some deal. Because I guess the workers want the paid sick leave. That's the main thing. But I was just watching on CNN. They couldn't put that package together. I think it was Buttigieg, whatever the heck his name is. He said that they were not able to get that for them. Which, isn't that what they wanted? So I'm not exactly sure. Are we going to have a strike on December 9th or not? I mean, hopefully not. But again, the idea that the government has to come in and rescue every time something happens, you know, in the private sector. Yeah, I know it's like union, and Biden is supposedly pro-union. There was some comment from one of the union leaders saying that Biden had betrayed them because they didn't get the paid sick leave in this new agreement that Congress just passed. So it's a whole freaking mess. But that would be pretty serious, right? If the railroads shut down. If any of our food suppliers like that were to shut down on any level of the supply chain, I think some of that union stuff's going to spill over into warehouses and maybe grocery stores. There's always, you know, threats of strikes in California because I think Ralph's is unionized out there. Yeah, other things I've been reading is about Japan's currency, right? The Japanese yen. It's really down on the year. And I told you guys, I'm kind of watching it because if something crazy happens in the yen and it starts really rising against the dollar, against these other currencies, it might indicate problems in Asia. That would be why you would want to, because people would see it as a safe haven because it's the Japanese yen. Whatever's going on in China, like I said, the reports were that they were rethinking those extreme lockdowns. Who knows? Like, that could just be the mainstream media coordinating with Chinese state media to pull the rug over our eyes. I don't know. There's no way to confirm it. But I think watching the financials, watching the currency markets, watching how they influence the bond markets perhaps, you know, this can kind of give us better indications maybe of the state of our economies, our national economies, but the global economy as well. And the global markets, whether that's stocks, commodities, whatever. I'm super interested in commodities, but there's so much to follow. I just, you know, as far as silver and gold, I still have my physical metals, but besides the jewelry and stuff, I still haven't added a lot. I would like to see commodity prices come down further, but there was a bank, I think it was maybe Goldman Sachs, might have been Morgan Stanley, predicting $110 a barrel oil by next year. So there was also another prediction I talked about in my other video, Morgan Stanley again, saying that we could have a 25% drawdown from here. So that would be pretty extreme, right? A lot of people are getting excited about this rally in December. And I think this is the real question. What is going to happen the next month? because, after primaries, 75% of the time, I think it is, there's a rally into the next 3, 6, and 9 months. There's so many calls for 2023 to be a major drawback, right? A major drawdown from where we are, even if we do rally. I've seen a lot of calls for that. And then you have the whole interest rate environment, the interest rates continuing to climb, even though it may not be 75 basis points on December 15th or whenever they do it. Even if it's 50 basis points, it's still higher interest rates. They have not really said anything about pivoting, even though people are thinking about being able to slow down rates, which I think was Powell's quote. He said, we're at a place where we're thinking about maybe slowing down the pace of the rate hikes, which sounded like a lot of Fed speak to me. That being said, even if they do, they're still going to increase rates, and they'll probably increase rates for some time. And we still don't know about inflation. Even Jerome Powell says inflation is highly uncertain, the whole situation here. I just suspect this cool down is kind of like, it's like a pullback in a bull market for stocks. You think about how the stocks go up, they come down a little bit, and then they go up, right? They go up, but they cool off, maybe for days, weeks, whatever. And then boom, they continue to fly in a bull market. That's kind of how I'm thinking about this inflation, possibly, if it's entrenched. It may not be entrenched. Hopefully it's not. But if it is, this is just the pullback. So you guys let me know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. I would make a longer video and talk about other things as well. I've been following loosely the Kanye stuff and all of that, Mar-a-Lago. There's so many funny things that we could be talking about. But it's like I'm trying to stay focused on the tasks at hand. I think focusing on financials, focusing on money, focusing on markets, and watching them every single day. Like if people don't use news when they're trading, I don't know how they trade successfully if they're doing anything other than scalping, pretty much. Like if you're swing trading, or if you're doing intraday trading where you're trying to catch slightly bigger moves, if you're not trading and watching news, I don't know how people do it. Financial news, economic news. I don't know how people do it. I used to not really pay attention to news because I see so many traders on YouTube saying like, oh, I don't pay attention to news. You shouldn't pay attention to news either. But, it's been very important in my trading. And I'm glad that I did get out of the trade today when I did, because I would have taken an even bigger loss, and I don't need that. So I'm blessed by God in so many ways. I feel like I've been given a huge opportunity, and I'm looking for opportunities every single day because they are out there. You see them every day. It's really just managing emotions, managing capital, preserving capital, sustaining losses and coming back from them. Even as an investor too, like people that are holding stocks and trying to make it through this bear market, this is a very tough time to be in the financial markets, especially when you're just trying to get started, you're building your experience. You probably got in 2020, so we've been at this maybe 2, 3, 4 years at this point, and it is a wild ride. It is very exciting. It has huge highs and huge lows, but it's incredible, and I think it's important, and that's why I'm trying to stay on top of as much of it as I possibly can so I can present them in these videos. There's other topics that I will discuss that I am interested in. I guess, just leave me some feedback if there's other things that maybe I'm missing here. That I could probably pull other things into the framework of what I'm trying to do with the financial content. I hope I don't sound like Biden right now. Within the framework of the financial content, I can talk about politics. I can bring other things into it. I just don't know how far you guys want to go down those rabbit holes. So I guess I need like suggestions or feedback, because we could get into all the conspiracies and everything, but I'm trying to keep it business oriented for the sake of my viewers and for the sake of myself, so that we're all kind of focusing on more fundamental and tangible phenomenons, so that we could try to profit from them. All right, I hope that makes sense. Again, comment down below, give this video a like, follow me on Instagram at Millennial Trades, watch that other video here on YouTube or on Instagram as well. You can watch some videos about my trades. I post all of my trades, whether they're big losses, huge wins, doesn't matter. They all go up on Instagram and here on YouTube, so definitely check that out. And as always, until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video.